It's been said that Bigfoot exhibits nocturnal behavior, perhaps to hunt or to avoid detection. But the cloak of darkness couldn't hide the creature in the stunning footage you're about to see.
From strange howls at night to massive hairy creatures showing up on video, these are the most terrifying Bigfoot sightings ever caught on camera. Let's start with the Colorado Trail encounter. On March 5th, 2025, something strange happened in the forests of Colorado. A photo was posted online, and it immediately grabbed people's attention. It came from an Instagram account called SquatchWatch1, and what they shared was more than just a photo. According to the post, two couples were out hiking on a small mountain trail in Colorado. It was a path they knew well and had taken many times before. But this time, something felt different. As they moved up the trail, they suddenly heard heavy footsteps. Not just one or two, but fast, strong steps, like someone or something big was moving up ahead. Then came the sound, a deep, strange kind of mumbling. It didn't sound human, but it wasn't just noise either. It had a rhythm to it, almost like it was speaking in a language they couldn't understand. This same type of sound has been mentioned in many Bigfoot stories before. People say it's a kind of low chatter or gibberish that the creature uses to communicate. Before they could react, a large figure walked past them. It didn't run, it didn't hide, it just kept moving, only a few yards away. One of the hikers pulled out their phone quickly and snapped a photo, and that photo may be one of the clearest images of Bigfoot anyone has seen so far. People who looked at it closely noticed a few strange details. The creature had very long arms that hung way past its knees. It was hunched over, just like how people have described Bigfoot in the past. But the most surprising part was the face. It didn't look covered in hair like the rest of its body. Instead, the skin looked bare, almost like a human face, but not quite. This strange encounter didn't just come out of nowhere. Colorado has a long history of Bigfoot sightings. The forests and mountains there are thick, quiet, and full of places where something could easily stay hidden. Indigenous tribes like the Ute, Arapaho, and Cheyenne have passed down stories for generations about large, mysterious beings living in the wilderness. They often called them the forest people and described them as powerful, shy, and very hard to find. In the 1800s, when miners came during the gold rush, they also started reporting strange things. Loud howls at night, giant footprints in the dirt near their camps. Over time, certain places like Pike National Forest, the San Juan Mountains, and a town called Bailey became known for having unusual sightings. Now, with this new photo, another chapter has been added to that long-running mystery. It's not just a legend anymore. It's something people are starting to catch on camera. The hidden video. From 2023. Not long after the Colorado photo went public, another piece of evidence came out. This time, it wasn't a picture. It was a video. It was recorded back in 2023, but wasn't shared widely until much later. Only a few people had seen it before, but when it finally surfaced, it raised even more questions. The video shows a man hiking alone on a dirt trail. Everything looks peaceful at first. Then, out of nowhere, he hears something moving through the brush behind him. It's loud. Something big is crashing through the trees. The man turns around, pulls out his phone, and starts recording. For just a few seconds, the camera captures something very unusual. A tall figure, walking on two legs, steps out from the trees and heads up the hill. Even though the video isn't very clear, when people slow it down and zoom in, they can see a lot. The creature looks massive. It's probably between 9 and 10 feet tall. It moves with long, strong steps, almost like it's floating over the ground. Its head is round, its shoulders are wide. It doesn't look like a person in a costume. Its body is lean but muscular, and its face is lighter than the rest of it, which makes it stand out even more. Some people also notice something strange about its eyes. In a few frames, they seem to glow slightly. The man who filmed it didn't stick around for long. He ran away shortly after and didn't return. He also didn't say where exactly the video was taken. Some think he wanted to protect the creature's location. Others believe he just didn't want to deal with the attention. Of course, like with any Bigfoot footage, some people had doubts. A few said the creature looked too tall. Others thought it could be fake or something else entirely. But when it comes to Bigfoot sightings, height has always been a tricky detail. Some reports say the creature is around 6 feet tall. Others say 10. And there have even been stories about ones that are over 12 feet tall. So this video showing something around 9 or 10 feet still fits within the range that people have been describing for decades. Even though the video is short, it adds something new to the conversation. It's one more piece in a much bigger puzzle, and just like the Colorado photo, it makes people wonder if something very real is still out there, walking through the trees when no one is looking. In one of the more unsettling and fascinating pieces of footage, a large, dark figure can be seen standing still by the edge of a quiet river. The shape is tall, heavy-set, and clearly not a person or any animal that is easily recognized. It remains completely motionless, staring straight across the water. Its gaze appears fixed on the person filming. The cameraman, clearly caught off guard, begins recording from a distance. The figure doesn't move. It simply stares, creating an eerie standoff between the two. You can sense the fear in the person holding the camera. According to him, he had never seen anything like it before. The panic in his voice and the way the footage is captured adds a layer of authenticity to the entire scene. The location itself is remote, surrounded by thick trees and overgrown vegetation. The kind of place where something could easily stay hidden for a long time. These types of areas have always been at the center of strange sightings: dense woods, quiet riversides, places where you wouldn't expect to see anyone, let alone something so unusual. Some believe this could be one of the clearest examples of a face-to-face Bigfoot encounter ever filmed. Others remain unsure. But what's certain is that this video feels real. The size of the figure, the setting, and the reaction of the person filming all point to something truly out of the ordinary: the Shaver Lake discovery. The next sighting came from Shaver Lake, California. It started as something small. A man was out by the water, just enjoying his time fishing. At first, nothing seemed strange, but then he noticed something unusual on the ground near the bay. There were large footprints, a lot of them, and they weren't from any normal animal. Later, while going through the photos he had taken during the trip, he spotted something even more unexpected. In the background of one of the pictures, just behind where he had been standing, there was a dark figure. It blended into the trees but stood out just enough to catch the eye. In that still image, the figure looks tall and covered in dark fur. But that wasn't the only detail that stood out. On closer inspection, something appeared to be clinging to the figure's chest or shoulder. The shape was smaller and lighter in tone, like a baby or an infant being carried close to the body. The posture of the figure and the way the smaller shape was positioned matched how primates often carry their young. The broader head, heavy shoulders, and uniform body shape suggested this wasn't just a person walking through the woods. It looked like a large primate, and possibly a mother. The forest around it was thick with vegetation, making it hard to see every detail clearly. But even through the branches and shadows, the size and proportions looked very close to what people have described in past Bigfoot sightings. If the photo is real, it may be one of the most important pieces of evidence yet, hinting that these creatures may not just roam alone, but travel in family groups with young ones in tow. This detail, rarely caught on camera, opens up a new idea. It suggests that Bigfoot sightings might not just involve a single mysterious creature hiding in the woods, but possibly a hidden species with its own behaviors, instincts, and way of life. Further analysis of the photo is still needed, but already many believe it could be one of the strongest signs yet that something unknown may still be out there, living quietly among the trees. The Bailey, Colorado close-up. Next, we come to a controversial but widely talked about piece of footage. Despite the debate surrounding it, this video stands out as one of the clearest and closest Bigfoot recordings to ever surface online. It first appeared in 2022, posted by a user on TikTok who claimed he had finally captured proof of the creature. In his own words, he explained that he had gone hiking thousands of times and had only ever seen massive footprints once, and that was near the town of Bailey. As mentioned earlier, Bailey, Colorado has long been known as a hotspot for Bigfoot sightings, and according to many, this is where the video was likely taken. What makes the footage so striking is how close the figure appears to the camera. The video is high definition, and the shot is unusually steady. The creature seen in the clip has dark fur, a face that looks raw and primitive, and tall, human-like features. It stands partially hidden behind a tree, but enough of its body and face are visible to make viewers stop and look twice. The reactions in the comments were mixed but intense. One person wrote that it was real because they had seen one before, face to face, and almost didn't live to talk about it. Another viewer believed it was computer-generated. Others simply appreciated that, whether it was real or not, it was finally a clear video for once. That point alone stood out to many people. Most Bigfoot clips are blurry, shaky, or filmed from far away. This one was different. It felt close, focused, and very real. Following that video, another image began making rounds online, and this one caught the attention of cryptid enthusiasts everywhere. The trail camera mystery. This picture came from a trail camera and was claimed to be the clearest Bigfoot photo ever captured. At first glance, the image looked incredible. The fur appeared highly detailed. The creature's posture seemed relaxed and natural, and its size was clearly much larger than a human. It stood with a strong build, deep in the woods. The photo had all the markings of what people imagine when they think of a Sasquatch. But not everything about it was perfect. Along one side of the figure, where it met the background trees, there was a strange blur. It didn't look like the kind of blur you get from motion. Instead, it looked like something digital, something that didn't quite match the rest of the image. That single detail raised a lot of doubts. Trail camera images don't usually have effects like that. They tend to look seamless, with a steady quality that captures everything clearly. This odd blur made some people think the photo had been edited or even created using artificial intelligence. These days, with digital tools being so advanced, even high-resolution fakes are easy to make. Still, not everyone agreed. Some researchers and viewers stood by the photo. They believed it was the real deal. To them, it was finally the kind of proof they had been waiting for. They argued that not everything strange in a photo means it's fake, and sometimes real sightings don't look perfect because the creature itself isn't easy to capture. So far, no one has been able to prove the image is real or fake, but it has definitely added fuel to the fire and kept the conversation going strong. But not all sightings involve clear photos or video. Some are based on sounds, tracks, and the strange feeling of being watched deep in the woods. One such case took place in the Lick Fork area of Virginia. The Lick Fork encounter. A group of hikers exploring the area started hearing something strange. Long, drawn-out howls echoed through the forest. These sounds weren't normal animal calls. They were low, powerful, and carried through the trees in a way that stayed with the group long after the moment had passed. Along with the howls, the hikers noticed something else. Large footprints, spaced apart in a way that suggested something big had been walking through recently. Based on the size and depth of the prints, the creature was estimated to be over 7 feet tall and weighing anywhere between 600 and 700 pounds. But the oddest detail was what happened to their phones. As they got closer to the area where the sounds were loudest, their devices started acting up. Screens froze, signals dropped, and the batteries drained unusually fast. Some believe this could be due to electromagnetic interference, something that has also been reported in other Bigfoot cases. The group reported their experience to the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization, known as RMSO. After reviewing the evidence, the organization noted the size of the creature, the strange movement patterns described, and the large footprints found nearby. They believe the encounter added yet another piece to the growing puzzle around Bigfoot sightings. The mysterious log in Oregon. On April 19, 2025, a new piece of footage surfaced from Oregon. It was shared by a woman and quickly made waves across online platforms. The woman and her husband were walking along a trail they had visited many times before. It was familiar, quiet, and just like any of their regular outings. But this time, they came across something they couldn't explain. Right there, in the middle of the forest, a massive log was embedded deep into the ground. It wasn't resting on the trail. It was driven into the earth, standing upright, firm, and out of place. There were no signs of how it got there. No broken trees nearby. No marks from a fall. Nothing that gave away a clear cause. As the woman filmed the scene, her disbelief was obvious. She panned around the area, pointing out the lack of any disturbed trees or branches. The forest was calm, the trail was untouched, and yet this enormous log stood where it clearly didn't belong. The footage quickly went viral. Many viewers believed it could be the work of Bigfoot. The idea wasn't random. For years, people have described the creature as incredibly strong, capable of lifting and even throwing logs with force. And in this case, the way the log was set into the earth suggested something, or someone, with immense strength had placed it there. The woman later returned to the site and posted a follow-up video. She explained that after looking around more carefully, she still couldn't find any signs of a natural cause. There were no storms, no high winds, and definitely no tornadoes in the area. She also confirmed that nothing had fallen from above. She even turned the camera to show the clear, unbroken tree canopy above. She made a point to keep the exact location private, explaining that she didn't want to risk disturbing any wildlife or a possible Bigfoot habitat. For her, the mystery remained unresolved, and to this day, no one has come forward with a solid explanation. The roadside sighting in Michigan. Around the same time, another strange sighting came out of Michigan. This time, it was a photograph. A tourist was traveling through a quiet, forested area when they stopped to take a picture of the winding road ahead. At first, the image didn't seem unusual, but later, something along the edge of the photo caught their eye. Hidden on the left side of the frame, almost blended in with the trees and shadows, was a tall, dark figure. At first glance, it could be mistaken for part of the landscape, maybe a tree trunk or a shadow in just the right shape. But on closer inspection, it became clear this wasn't just a trick of the light. The figure had broad shoulders, a large cone-shaped head, and a straight, upright stance. Its limbs were long and well-proportioned, with one arm slightly bent as if it had just moved or was resting against the slope. What made the image even more convincing was how natural the pose looked. It didn't appear stiff like a costume or frozen like a fake. The figure's position seemed fluid, as if it had been caught mid-step. There were no visible clothes, no patterns or seams that would suggest a person in disguise. And based on the scale of the surroundings, the creature looked significantly taller than an average person, likely standing somewhere between 7 and 8 feet tall. Reports of Bigfoot activity in Michigan are nothing new. In fact, the state is known for its dense forests and long-running stories of strange encounters. Sightings often peak in the fall and spring when animals move closer to trails in search of food. This photo fit right into that pattern. It might not be proof on its own, but it added yet another strange piece to the growing puzzle. A quiet roadside. A figure too tall and too natural looking to dismiss. And one more reminder that, sometimes, the most unsettling things are the ones hiding in plain sight.